Student, in our previous video, we have discussed about the biogas from the plant waste. That is, different plants are used for the generation of the biogas, and generally the wood is also used for the production of the biogas, and also the agricultural material is used for the production of the biogas. And also we have seen about the different methods obtaining the energy from the biomass, and there are generally two types. That is, the first is the dry processes and second one is the wet processes. And in that, again, these two processes further classified into different types. First is the dry processes, and dry process is classified into two types. That is, first one is the combustion, second one is the pyrolysis. And when wet processes can be classified into three types. First is the anaerobic digestion, second one is the gasification, and third one is the fermentation. Now let's see in a brief all these two main processes. So first is the dry processes, and in that the first type is the combustion. The most obvious way of extracting energy from biomass, the technology of direct combustion is well understood and straightforward and commercially available. We know that the combustion process is a very common process, and which is the straightforward process and also commercially available. In that there is a direct burning of the wood material, or this is the direct process of extracting of the energy from the biomass. Combustion systems comes in a wide range of shapes and size, burning virtually any kind of fuel, from chicken manure and straw bales to tree trunks, municipal refuse and scrap tires. All these acts as a raw material for the combustion process. That is, any kind of fuel from chicken manure and straw bales to the tree trunks, and also include municipal refuse and scrap tires. All these materials can be acts as a raw material for the combustion process, and this material is combusted in a different shape of container or different size of digester. We can say it as digester. So this is the combustion process. Some of the ways in which heat from burning wastage is currently used to include space and water heating, industrial processing, electricity generation. That means the energy or the heat can be obtained from the burning of the waste, which is directly used for the further application, and the applications are, that is, space heating, water heating, industrial processing, or for the generation of the electricity. This heat can be utilized. One problem with this method is its very low efficiency. The combustion has a disadvantage, that means it has a very low efficiency. That means when we burn the wood, then we get the less amount of energy as compared to other processes. With an open fire, most of the heat is wasted and is not used to cook or whatever. That means in a combustion process we can proceed this process in a open place, or we can say it as a open fire, and due to that there is loss of heat, and this loss of heat we cannot be able to utilize for the other applications such as a cook or whatever application. So these all are the, that is, two disadvantages of the combustion process. Now the second process is the one method of improving these developing countries is to build stove out of mud and scrap irons. These two advantages can be avoided in a developing countries, and the alternative for that is to build stoves out of mud and scrap irons. From that we can able to improve the efficiency of the combustion process, and also we can minimize the loss of heat. So this is the alternative for that. Now the second type is the pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is one of the type of the dry processes. So a wide range of energy rich fuels can be produced by roasting dry woody matter like straw and wood chips. For the pyrolysis process, generally the raw materials which is used as straw and wood chips, and the roasting of these two things takes place, that is roasting of dry woody material, and we get the energy from that. So this is the pyrolysis process, and this process takes place in the presence of limited air. The process has been used for centuries to produce the charcoal, and this process generally used for the production of the charcoal, and which has been used for the centuries. The material is shredded and then fed into a reactor vessel and heated in the absence of air. That means all this raw material is chopped into small pieces, that is shredded and then fed to the reactor vessel. Reactor vessel or gasifier, or sometimes it called as a digester, and heated in the absence of air. In absence of air means there is a very less quantity of the oxygen. Pyrolysis can also be carried out in a presence of small quantity of oxygen. When this process carried out, that is a pyrolysis process carried out in presence of small quantity of oxygen, then this process is known as a gasification. If it is carried out in a presence of water, then this process is known as a steam gasification. And if the pyrolysis process can be carried out in a presence of small quantity of oxygen, then this process is known as a hydrogenation. So these all are the three different phases of the pyrolysis, that is in a presence of what, that is in a oxygen, in a presence of limited quantity of oxygen, hydrogen or water. According to that, there are again the pyrolysis process is classified, that is a gasification, steam gasification and hydrogenation process. One of the most useful products in a methane, which is a suitable fuel for the electricity generation using high efficiency gas turbines. That means we can use high efficiency gas turbines, and these gas turbines are used for the production of the electricity, and the products used for that is a methane. So the methane is a main source of that energy. So this is the pyrolysis process. Now the second type of the main process is the wet process. First is the dry process and second is the wet process. Again the wet process is classified into three types. First is the anaerobic digestion. So let's start with the anaerobic digestion. Biogas is produced when wet sewage sludge, animal dung or green plants are allowed to decompose in a sealed tank under anaerobic or oxygen free condition. That means the raw material, that is the material which is used for the anaerobic digestion is the sewage sludge, wet sewage sludge, animal dung or green plants, and these all are the materials are allowed to decompose in a digester or a sealed tank under the anaerobic condition. That means in the presence of the anaerobic bacteria, and due to the activity of the anaerobic bacteria there is a production of the biogas. So this is the simple process of the anaerobic digestion with the help of the anaerobic bacteria. Feedstocks like wood shavings, straw and refuse may be used, but digestion takes much longer time. That means feedstocks like wood shavings, straw, refuse, all these the raw materials are also used for the biogas production, but for the production of the biogas these all material takes longer time as compared to the previous one. So most of the time this material is avoidable for the production of the biogas with the help of anaerobic digestion process. Each kilogram of organic material, that is dry wet material, can be expected to yield 450 to 500 liters of the biogas. That means the per kg of organic material there is a production of the biogas, and which is in the order of 450 to 500 liters. So This is the general approximation of the production of the biogas from the 1 kg of the organic material. The residue left after digestion is a potentially valuable fertilizer or compost. We know that the slurry or the residue left after the digestion, that is a spent slurry which remains after the digestion process, and this slurry which acts as a fertilizer or compost for the some plants, and also it can be acts as a fertilizer for the soil, and it helps to improve the fertility of the soil. So this is the advantage of the anaerobic digestion. Now the second process, that is a dry process, is the fermentation process. Ethanol, that is ethyl alcohol, is produced by fermentation of the sugar solution by natural yeast, or the acid fermenter. That means the bacteria which are used for the fermentation, which is acid fermenters, and generally natural yeast, and this yeast convert the biomass into the form of ethanol or ethyl alcohol, that is the sugar present in the biomass material is converted into the ethanol or ethyl alcohol with the help of the fermenters. Suitable feedstocks include crushed sugar, beet and fruits. Generally raw material which are used for the fermentation process, which is the crushed sugar, beet and fruits, and from that there is a generation of the biodiesel or ethanol. Sugar can also be manufactured from the vegetable starches and cellulose by pulping and cooking, or from cellulose by milling and treatment with hot acid. That means there are different methods which are used for the generation of the byproduct of the fermentation. That means the sugar can be manufactured from the vegetable and starches and cellulose by pulping and cooking. That means after cooking of the vegetables, cellulose, or by pulping process, we are able to obtain the sugars, and also from cellulose by milling treatment with the hot acid. When we treat the cellulose with the milling process with the hot acid, then we get the sugar. So these are the different methods of the formation of the sugar, and after that the sugar is converted into the ethanol by the with the help of the fermenters, that is the acid fermenters. After about 30 hours of fermentation, the brew contains 6 to 10% alcohol, which can be removed by distillation as a fuel. That means after 30 hours of fermentation, that means when fermentation takes place, and after that there is a period of 30 hours, and after that there is a production of the alcohol, and which is the 6 to 10%, and this alcohol is removed with the help of distillation as a fuel. So this is the removing process of the alcohol. If the biomass is used or can be converted into mostly sugar, then yeast can be added. That means generally biogas is converted into the sugar form in the fermentation process, and after that there is addition of the yeast material or the acid fermenters. The fermentation that follows produces alcohol, which is a very high energy fuel that makes it very practical for use in cars. This has been tried successfully in Brazil. That means in Brazil country, the alcohol which can be obtained from the fermentation process is used as a high energy fuel, and this high energy fuel is used in different cars, and which acts as a fuel for that car, and this can be tried, or this has been tried successfully in Brazil country. So this is the advantage of the fermentation process, that is the application of the alcohol which can be produced from the fermentation process. Now third process, that is a wet process, is the gasification. This process, usually using wood, produces a flammable gas mixture of hydrogen, carbon monoxide, methane and other non-flammable byproducts. That means in a gasification process, generally the biogas is converted into the mixture of gases, and this mixture contains the hydrogen, carbon dioxide, methane, carbon monoxide sometimes, and some other non-flammable gases. And already we mentioned in our previous video, the mixture of these gases is known as a producer gas. That is a byproduct of the gasification process is the producer gas. This is done by partially burning and partially heating the biomass using the heat from the limited burning in a presence of charcoal, naturally byproduct of a burning biomass. We know that the byproduct of the pyrolysis process is the charcoal, and all this gasification process takes place with the presence of charcoal, and this gasification process is done by partially burning and partially heating of the biomass. The gas can be used instead of petrol and reduces the power output of the car by 40%. That means this is the alternate source of energy for the petrol, and it reduces the power output of the car by 40%. So this is the advantage of the gasification process. It is also possible that in the future this fuel could be major source of energy for power station. That means in the future there is a possibility, or there will be possibility of the byproduct of the gasification process acts as a major source of energy for power station. That is the fuel which can be obtained from the gasification process acts as a main source of energy for different power station, and this happens in future, or this will be happens in future. So this is the advantages of the gasification process. Now in this video we have covered the methods for obtaining the energy from the biomass. We have discussed about the dry process and wet processes. The dry processes include combustion and pyrolysis, and wet processes include three types, that is anaerobic digestion, gasification and fermentation process, and we have all covered in this video. Now our next video we will start with the next topic or next point of the our chapter, that is energy from the biomass. So we will continue with a new point in our next video.